Hey guys, what's up everyone? How are you guys doing? Welcome to today's session. I hope that all of you guys are doing good and I hope that all of you guys are taking care of yourself. Welcome, my name is Anup and this is going to be session number 3 of Refraction Through Prism, and a very warm welcome to all of you guys out there. So people, I hope that you guys have already watched all the 2 videos that we have put out before this. Please do refer to it so that you're able to understand and keep up with what have you've done in the past, and understand the basic concept of refraction through lenses. So in today's session, what are we going to talk about? We'll be talking about the action of lens as a set of prism, and what are the principal rays of for a ray diagram, and how do they react, not exactly react, but what happens to those standard incident rays and all of that. That is what we're going to talk about in today's session. So with that said people, as always, the quote for today is this: courage is the resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. And that was said by Mark Twain. I don't think there's any explanation needed for this, but yes, people, it's not just when someone seems a lot more courageous than you. It's not that they are not afraid. It is not that they don't have that fear in them. It's just that they have overcome that fear. It's just that they know how to stay cool under that under that storm. That is all there is. It's not that they there's no fear at all. It's just that they are good at managing it. That's all right people. So that said, let us get started with today's session. So today, like I told you people, we'll be talking about the action of lens as a set of prisms and the principal rays for ray diagram. So starting with the first concept guys, but before we get into that, in the last session, I'd given you homework, right? And the homework was this: a plane normal to the principal axis passing through the focus is called as what? Bacha question. And a bacha answer as well. The answer guys is the focal plane. The focal plane is nothing but a 2D figure, a plane or a paper kind of structure that is placed on the principal axis, on the focus, which is perpendicular to the principal axis, or in other words, it makes an angle of 90 degrees with the principal axis. That there is what is called as the focal plane. And you have two focal planes again. For the first focus, you have one focal plane, and for the second focus, you have another second focal plane as well. We've talked about all of this in detail in the last session. So if you haven't watched it already, what are you guys doing? Go quickly. Go, and also please do subscribe and like the video as well, and let us know how it is in the comment section below. So with that said people, let us get into the topic for today, which is nothing but the action of lens as a set of prism. So here's the thing guys, in the last session I told you that, in the previous sessions I told you that basically a lens is basically a part of two spherical spheres, right? Two spherical glass spheres. That's where you get a convex as well as a concave lens. Awesome. Now what if I say that the same convex lens that you got before can be divided into set of several different prisms of different sizes? Would you believe me? Yes, it can be done guys. So if you take a convex lens, you can actually place different sized of prism. Majority of them are basically trapezium prism, and you also have a rectangular a triangular prism, and you also have a rectangular glass slab as well. So all of those put together, basically kept one above another in a proper shape, would actually get you your convex lens. So when you talk about a convex lens, you can say that it's actually a glass slab with two triangular prism, one on top and one at the bottom, making that the ever known convex shape that you already know of. Now here's the thing guys, let's talk about what happens to a ray of light that falls on those three prisms. All right, for the first one, now you already know in the past, you've already studied in the past sessions that when a ray of light incidents on a rectangular prism, the ray of light when it undergoes refraction, it always moves towards the base. So here what happens, the first ray of light, that is A, after refraction moves towards the base and then passes through the focus. Now ray B, it's passing through a rectangular prism, and if the incident ray is at 90 degrees, what is going to happen to that refracted ray? It's going to pass undeviated. So what happens, the ray of light, that is B, passes through undeviated, which apparently is your principal axis. The ray number C is something which again the prism is inverted. So what happens? The ray of light after refraction passes or tries to move towards the base, and hence this refraction that you see over here, and again it passes through the focus itself. Now, if you take several such small prisms and do the exact same thing, all of the ray of light after refraction would try to move towards the base. And apparently all of them, if the rays of light are parallel to the principal axis, they will again meet at a single point which we studied in the past as the focus of that lens. That's all. So in a convex lens, this is what happens. You can actually, if you do not remember what is going to happen to the the ray of light after refraction, you can remember this and find out what happens to it. Now, if you talk about a concave lens on the other hand, this is actually one rectangular prism again, or sorry, you can call it as a rectangular glass slab, and then you also have two trapezium-like prism, which basically is nothing but a triangular prism with the top part cut out. So you get something like a trapezium prism inverted on both the sides. So you have this. Once again, here what happens? The ray of light which comes in incidence over here, after basically they'll also refract, and again they'll try to move towards the base. So what happens? The ray of light would go away, which is why it's called as a diverging lens. Here also it's the exact same thing. The ray of light comes incidence, and after refraction they try to move towards the base, and basically it'll look like this. And if it hits at 90 degrees to the glass slab, my 90 degrees, alright, yeah people. Yes. So if you have a ray diagram, or if you have a light or ray of light that is passing through 90 exactly at 90 degrees, if it's incidenting on the glass slab, it will pass through undeviated, and you see that this is what the ray of light looks like. Now here's the thing, guys. Here the ray of light, if the person is standing over here, it will appear to originate from let's say the person is standing over here, not over here but over here, because you're observing from the other side. So when you look from the other side, you see that for that person the ray of light appears to emerge from that point, which is called as the focus of a concave lens. So this here would be the focus. Why is it called as a focus? Because when a person is standing on the other side and watching it, it'll appear that the rays of light are actually coming from there, but it's actually not. So that is what is called as a focus when you talk about a concave lens. Simple. Alright guys, so with that said, this is what it would look like if you were to stack up one prism on top of another to make a concave lens as well as a convex lens. This is what it is. So this is a converging prism, this is a diverging prism. Again, you can always remember it, guys, that in a prism the ray of light would always, after refraction, it will always try to move towards the base, and that's how you end up getting this. Simple. Right? So that's how you get a converging and diverging prism, and that's how you basically make a convex or a concave lens into a set of several other prisms. That's it. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of ray diagrams related to this. You guys already know about it. I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys are scared about it right now, thinking about the ray diagrams. So your palms start sweating, you start sweating from your forehead and all that. I can understand it. Now, I'm going to try to make it very simple for you guys. What I want you guys to do is pay attention for the next 5 to 10 minutes. What I'm going to talk about is one of the most important thing in this entire chapter when it comes to ray diagrams. Alright, we're going to talk about what are the principal rays for those ray diagrams, both concave as well as convex lens. In other words, what I'm talking about is what are the standard rays, standard incident ray for a concave lens as well as a convex lens. Now, why is it so important? Because if you know this, you can draw your own raw ray diagram. You don't have to by heart all the ray diagram that is given in your textbook. Instead, you could draw it by understanding it. So listen to me very carefully, guys. The first one, let's say for a let's talk about a convex lens. Let's say there's a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. Simple condition, it's parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, after it passes, basically when it passes through the lens, it'll refract. When it refracts, it will pass through the focus. If it's when you talk about a convex lens, the ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after refraction would pass through the focus exactly like that. So no matter how many rays of light you take, if they are all parallel to the principal axis, my rays, you guys understand the point. My diagrams are amazing, so please ignore the diagrams. But yeah, You can see that if they are all parallel to each other, then they will all pass through the principal axis, the focus. If they are parallel to the principal axis, they'll pass through the focus, which is present on the principal axis. Alright, if the ray of light is passing through the focus of a convex lens after refraction, it will become parallel to the principal axis. That's all. If a ray of light is passing through the focus after refraction, it will become parallel to the principal axis. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. That's all. If the ray of light is parallel, it will pass through the focus. If the ray of light is passing through the focus, then after refraction, it will be parallel to the principal axis. Parallel to the principal axis. Alright. Third condition. If the ray of light is passing through the optic center, then the ray of light would pass through undeviated. There will be no deviation, there will be no refraction whatsoever. It will pass through undeviated in the case of both convex as well as a concave lens. So this here we're talking about a convex lens. So yes, it will pass through undeviated, no doubt about it. Alright, so in conclusion, people, these are the three standard rays that you have to remember. There's one more standard ray that is nothing but I think this is pretty much it. So if you remember these three things, guys, you will be able to solve any sort of ray diagrams. For the first one, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, after refraction it will pass through the focus. If the ray of light is passing through the focus, then after refraction it will be parallel to the principal axis. And if the ray of light is passing through the optic center, then we no deviation whatsoever. Alright, moving on to the second one now. Let's talk about a concave lens. How does the standard rays, incident rays look like in a concave lens? Starting with the first one. If the ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, this time it's a diverging lens. So what will happen after refraction? It will go away from the normal. So it will be going away from the normal, or basically it diverges. It goes away. So when you extend that line, it will appear to move, or it will appear to be originated from that point, which here is nothing but the focus. So when you talk about a concave lens, in a concave lens also, the ray of light, if it's parallel to the principal axis, it will appear to pass through the focus. Now the key word here is it appears. In a convex lens, it actually passes through the focus, but here it appears to pass through the focus. So that is the first point. Secondly, if the ray of light is appearing to pass through the focus, it's appearing to pass through the focus. You see, this is appearing to pass through the focus. After refraction, it will become parallel to the principal axis. That's all. If it's appearing to pass through the focus, then it will become parallel to the principal axis in a concave lens again. And if it's parallel to the principal axis, then after refraction, it will appear to move through the focus. That's all. Third condition is if the ray of light is passing through the optic center, it will pass through undeviated, no doubt about it. There will be no refraction happening at all. It will pass through straight without any deviation. So in conclusion, people, when you talk about a concave lens, once again, if the ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, after refraction, it will appear to pass through the focus. If the ray of light is appearing to pass through the focus, then after refraction, it will become parallel to the principal axis. And if the ray of light is passing through the optic center, it will pass through undeviated. Simple, guys. That pretty much concludes the topic today. And if you remember all of these, once again, you would be able to solve any sort of question related to ray diagram, because you could do it by yourself. You don't have to by heart all those ray diagrams, like sitting and by hearting. There's no need for that. Just remember these three things and you will be able to do it perfectly fine. Alright guys, so with that said, guys, before we get into the questions, let me tell you something very, very important. Give me next 2 minutes of your time. Probably that might change your life entirely. So listen to me for the next 2 minutes. Here's the thing, guys. You know that since the quarantine has started, your life has changed, right? Your life has changed so much. There are a lot of things that you didn't ever expect to, happen or see has happened right now. One of that, when it comes to studies, is that these are the problems that you guys are facing. Like, you guys are facing a lot of problems these days because you don't get to go to school. You don't get to clear your doubts from your teacher. So how do you manage everything, right? There are a lot of problems that you guys are facing at this point in time. So we had actually taken up a survey asking you people, what are the problems that you guys are facing, especially during this quarantine time? And these are things that you guys came up with. First thing, doubts. That your doubts are not getting cleared on time, because there are a lot of websites out there who clear a doubt, but then they take about 24 to 48 hours and you don't want to wait for 24 to 48 hours to get your doubts cleared. Secondly, notes, because you are studying from a lot of YouTube channels and other websites and stuff, but getting the notes has become a big deal, because you want to refer what the teacher has written on the whiteboard, but majority of the time that's not the case. You're not able to download it. Thirdly, tests and assignments, because I'm pretty sure that you don't want to go and sit in your board exams without preparing yourself, before you test yourself. So tests and assignments are also a very important aspect of it. Fourthly, competitive exams, because I'm pretty sure that majority of you guys we're very excited at the start of the year, thinking about your NSOs and ISOs and KVPY, NTSC. Not all of them, but yes, at least a couple of you guys out there. So how do you train yourself for your competitive exams as well? Fifthly, choice of your own schedule, because obviously that has become a very big problem now, that you're not free when the teacher's free, when the teacher's free you're not free. So this is conflict of time that happens all the time. And finally, but definitely not the least, choice of your own language. That how do you study in a language that you're comfortable in? Here's the thing, guys, don't worry, we at Vedant have dedicated all our time to solve your problems, to make your lives easier. And I'm proud to say that we have actually come with a solution for all of your problems. Your doubts inside the class. You will not just have one master teacher to help you clear your doubts and to teach you the concept, but you'll also have someone called as a class teacher. And the class teacher's job is to make sure that your doubts are clear inside the class itself. So you don't walk out of the class without any sort of confusions. You're walking out of the class with a clear mind. Secondly, you can download all the notes and the recording. So if you want to refer to what the teacher has written, or if you want to watch the recording and see what happened in the last session, all of that can be done n number of times. How many number of times you want, you can do that. Thirdly, tests and assignments. You get regular tests and assignments to check where you're going wrong, and based on these tests and assignments you'll also be getting a detailed report card as well, which tells you what are the topics you're good at, what are the topics you're bad at, and what topics you have to work on. Fourthly, competitive exams. You'll be trained for all the competitive exams that you are planning to write. And fourthly, you can choose your own schedule, because live class sessions are going on 24/7. It's not necessary that you have to come at 5 o'clock itself. Whenever you feel like studying, you want to study at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, go ahead, do it. People in the live class are going 24/7. Join the session and learn from the best of the best teachers. And finally, guys, you can choose your own language. We are offering sessions on both English as well as in Hindi. So if you're someone who's comfortable in Hindi, then you can go with that. If you're someone who's comfortable with English, then you can go with that as well. Alright, people. And apart from these, you'll also have a lot of other bonuses like unlimited live classes. You want to attend 20 live classes in a day, go ahead, people. Nobody's going to stop you. All micro courses and crash courses for free, performance report card, and a personalized attention with the help of the class teacher as well. So what do you do, people? You must be wondering, so what I should do? All you have to do is click on the link that is given in the description below. Once you click on the link that is given in the description below, this is what is going to happen. They're going to take you to a new page, which basically looks like this. They'll ask you which board or which grade and which board do you belong to. Let's say you're in 10th grade. Once you click on 10th grade, they'll ask you which board do you belong to, CBSE, ICSE, or Maharashtra. So right now we are offering classes for CBSE, ICSE, and Maharashtra. So whichever board you belong to, select that. Once you select that, they'll, the entire page, everything that I just told you, all of that in one glance. You can pause the video and watch it if you want to. So what you'll do is click on get subscription. Once you click on get subscription, this is what is going to happen. They'll ask you if you want to go for the 1 month program, 3 month program, or the 6 month program. Let's say you want to go for the 1 month program. See how it goes for the next 1 month and decide what you want to do later. So for the next 30 days, the base price of that is 4,000 rupees. That's a big amount. It's a very big amount. Don't worry, people. We've got it covered. Your base price would come down to 2,699 rupees. On top of that, if you want to save more money, enter the coupon code AMPRO, which I'm pretty sure you do. Enter this coupon code AMPRO, get additional 539 rupees discount, and get the price down to be 2,159 rupees for the whole month. Now remember this, guys, for 2,000 rupees, you're getting the best of the best teachers in the world, I would say, and the best online platform for you to study with quizzes, a lot of interactive hotspots and stuff. So you would definitely enjoy it. Do check it out. Do try it out. I definitely urge people. Alright, let's say that you want to go for this 3 month program. For the 3 month program, the base price is 10,000 rupees. But again, guys, it's a big amount. Don't worry. It'll come down to 6,999 rupees. That is the price that you want to that you have to be paying. But on top of that, if you want to save more money, people, enter the coupon code AMPRO, get additional 1,400 rupees discount, and get the price down to be 5,599 for the next 3 months. Let's say we'll go with the 6 month program. The 6 month program is 16,000 rupees. But again, people, I know it's a lot. You get a price drop to about 11,499. On top of that, enter the coupon code AMPRO, get additional 2,299 rupees discount, and what you'll be paying is 9,199 for the next 6 months. Remember this, guys, the best teachers with the best online platform. Check it out, people. That link is given in the description below, and the coupon code that you should never forget is AM Pro to avail all those discounts as well. So with that said, people, let's get back to the topic. Right now, we'll solve some questions based on what we've studied so far. So hope you guys are ready for it. Now, I want everyone to put down the answer in the comment section below. Let me know how was the session. Let me know if you have any feedbacks, and also let me know what is the answer for all these questions as well. And let me know if you have any doubts as well. Put it in the comment section below. Right? Here's the question: which prism is convex lens bends light ray downwards? Is it the upper prism, the lower prism, either A or B, or can't say? Which of these would bend the light downwards in a convex prism or convex lens? The answer, guys, is option number A. Why so? If you look at a convex lens, you can divide it into two triangular prism and then one rectangular glass slab. Right, and through this the light would pass through undeviated because it's incidenting at 90 degrees. Here is where when the ray of light comes in, incidence over here, it moves towards, basically it bends inwards or it bends the light downwards. Over here the light rays bend upwards. So that is the answer, guys. The right answer is option number A. Simple. Second question. Take another look at the second question. Which lens in its upper part has a prism with base downwards? Concave lens, convex lens, both concave and convex, or none of these? Which of these has a base, the upper part of the prism with base downwards? The answer, people, once again, is a convex lens. Why convex lens? Because the base of that is downwards. That's what this is the base, right? So it's downwards, and that's why it is a convex lens. If you're talking about a concave lens, it's going to be a little different because the base is going to be on the top. You see that in a concave lens, this is what the lens basically looks like. So you see this is how the base is actually upwards, not downwards. So the right answer is option number B. Simple. Moving on to the third question. Here's the third question. Which one of the following incident ray will remain undeviated? So there are 4 different rays of light. Which of these is going to pass undeviated without any sort of deviation? Your options are 1, 2, 3 or 4, and the answer, people, is going to be option number 2, because yes, this ray is the only one that is going to pass through undeviated. All the other rays would go through some sort of refraction, but here on this one there'll be zero refraction and pass through undeviated. Next question. Here's another one. Which of the following rays shows follows the laws of refraction? We have just seen what are the principal the standard incident rays. So which of these would follow the laws of refraction? Is it 1, 2, 3 or 4? Which of these do you think is the right answer? Let me know what is the answer in the comment section below. And the answer to this question, people, is going to be option number 2. Why option number 2? Because if the ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, then it will pass through the focus, not through the center of curvature. This one is wrong. Why? Because it's passing through the center of curvature. If the ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, it will always pass through the focus, and so option number 2 or ray 2 would be the right answer. Not ray number 3 as well, because it's a converging prism, not a diverging prism, so that would not happen. And option number A is definitely wrong, because if it's going from one medium to another and if it's not hitting at 90 degrees, obviously there will be some refraction. So option number B, I believe, would be the right answer. Yes, people, that is it. With that said, guys, here's the 5th question, the last question for today. A ray appearing to pass through the focus after refraction will become what? Parallel to the principal axis, perpendicular to the principal axis, passes through F, or passes through 2F. What happens to the ray of light that is passing through or appearing to pass through the focus? The answer? It will become parallel to the principal axis. Because if it's either passing through the focus or if it's appearing to pass through the focus, after refraction, it will become parallel to the principal axis. That is the answer, guys. That is it. That is it from my side, people. With that said, this is your homework for today. Let me know what is the answer in the comment section below again. The question is this: what happens to the ray passing through the center of a spherical lens? If it's passing through the center of the spherical lens, what happens to that ray of light? Let me know what is the answer in the comment section below. Thank you for joining, people. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new out of today's session. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and spread the love, people. Thank you for joining. My name is Anup. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and peace out, people. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.